no. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Ooh, the gym. Old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, Fly Fishing Guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah, try it sometime.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise Pregame Show from Bronco Nation News, as we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches. The BNN Pregame Show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out LithiaFordBoise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise Pregame Show from Bronco Nation News.
207 of you already watching and ready to roll, and we are about an hour and 15 minutes from tip-off. Welcome on into the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show here at Extra Mile Arena. BJ Rains with you. We got so many guests coming on, so many interviews. We're going to be on the air for well over an hour, so settle in, grab a Cutwater, and yes, it's senior night. It's a big game. I went for the tie tonight. And why not, right? So welcome on in. My name is BJ Rains. We appreciate you here on the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. And again, we are going to have you covered. KJ Mack, 42 years as the public address announcer. He is going to join us here in just a few minutes. We're going to have Leon Rice, sound bites. We got Max Rice interview. We got a ton of interviews to get to, a ton of live interviews to get to. And KJ Mack's going to start us off here in just a minute or so. And, Nevada, Boise State, first place on the line for the Broncos to try to get this one done. It should be a lot of fun. Get your comments in. Get your questions in. We'd love to hear from you. Here's a live look at Extra Mile Arena. Both teams starting to make their way onto the floor. And super excited to have this here. We're going to have Robin Rice, by the way, Leon Rice's wife, Robin, Max Rice's mom, Robin Rice is going to join us. That's going to be a cool live interview as well. And we're excited to be here at Extra Mile Arena for senior night, and super excited to go ahead and welcome on our first guest here. KJ Mack, Your final game of your illustrious career, was it 40-plus years? How many seasons exactly? 42?
45.
45.
45 years.
45 years. You got to get that mic a little. You've never used the mic before, I guess. Come on.
Never. This is all new to me.
Hopefully you guys can hear him all right. But this gentleman right here, 45 seasons as the PA announcer for Boise State, going to call his final game tonight. What are the emotions like walking into the arena here for what's going to be your final game?
It is mixed emotions. It is certainly sad that this could be it. Well, this will be it. But, I'm ready for some new adventures during the winter months. So looking forward to that, too.
How did you get the gig to begin with? Let's go all the way back.
1979, Bob Rosenthal, I think who you know, was the sports information director for Boise State. And Lyle Smith was the AD. And Tom Scott left. He was the PA guy. And then he took a job at KIVI, and he couldn't do the games because he had to be on TV. So they hired a news guy from KBOI, and he was not really good. And so Lyle Smith, the AD, comes up to Bob and said, "That guy you brought on is horrible. Find somebody else." So he comes up to me. We've been friends for a while, and he goes, "You want to try this?" And I go, "Sure." And he goes, "All right, don't F it up." So that was those were the words that he told me.
And you didn't.
I didn't.
45 years later, you're still going.
I think so. So I guess I did. I did all right.
What has it been like seeing so many teams, so many memories? You go way back. There's a guy on here, Jordan, that says he's 35 years old. His entire life, you've been doing the games. It's going to be weird next year having somebody new. What's it been like for this long, being a staple of this program, this building, this community?
Well, I don't know if you saw the video that they did for me for the women's game, and Heather Sower, the assistant coach, kind of put it in perspective. We've had 3 name changes in the building. We've had like 10 different courts. I've gone through different coaches, university presidents, and ADs, and I've been the only constant in this building. So I've been the only voice in this building. So that really kind of hit home to me. I'm going, wow. It didn't really hit me until she said that.
Any mispronounced names? Anybody get mad at you? Anybody get mad at you? What was always the hardest one for you? Give us some funny stuff here. You're on the way out. Who cares? Come on.
When we used to play Russian teams in exhibition games, those guys would I had no idea, so I just faked it until I made it. I said it with confidence, and I think the fans thought, well, he's pretty good. He knows what he's doing. That's what you do sometimes when you have troubles with the names. You just fake them.
Someone's wanting to know your all-time favorite player.
I would have to say Arnell Jones. Back in the 80s with Bobby Dye and Chris Childs, and that was just a special place here. You weren't around for that, but
no, I wasn't.
This place would just get rocking, and we had special songs that they played. We had no band, so it was all from the sound booth. Brad Vaughn, who was the facilities manager here, he put together a special edited song of Shout. And really, BJ, this place would just come unglued.
Really?
Yeah.
So
just amazing.
1979, correct, is when you started with the men's games?
Yes, over at Bronco Gym.
Bronco Gym, wow.
Yeah, I had a couple seasons over there with Bus Connor.
And then 1984 was the women's game?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, that was June Doherty's. Well, it was Tony Otto first and then June Doherty. And what she did with the women's program was incredible. We had one night, it was dollar night against University of Montana. 12,000 people were in this arena cheering on the women.
Wow. Wow. Back in the Big Sky days, man, especially for the men, too. They used to pack this place all the time, didn't they?
And another thing they did with the Big Sky games was Bobby Dye had the under 50 club. I don't know if you were aware of that. If the Broncos held the opposing team to under 50 points, everybody got a burger at Wendy's.
How about that?
Yeah. And Bobby, I was just talking to Bobby Sunday night, as a matter of fact, and we were talking about one game we were up by like 40, and the fans were still here because the opposing team had 48 points. And the opposing team hit a 3-pointer with like 6 seconds left to go. And the place just, vacated. But the team on the floor, they got so excited, they ran off. They were jumping up and down. And as the opposing coach told Bobby, he goes, "That's what's wrong with my team. They're excited because they just made sure you guys didn't get burgers. and they're jumping around like they just won the championship. He goes, that's the problem I have with my team.
Oh, man. How did the It's Basketball Time in Boise start?
That was from an SID. A marketing guy, Brad. He came up with that and said, let's try doing Bronco time or basketball time in Boise. It is caught on.
I mean, that's kind of your thing, right before tip-off.
That is, and I like it. You suggested earlier in the year that we get them to get standing up and walking on the court.
Yeah, right. You do right before tip-off. You get the crowd standing as the music comes on. I mean,
and it was a great suggestion. We had done it in the past, and I'd kind of forgotten about that. And so, thanks to you, we got that going again.
Justin says we can only hope for a walking tonight. How did that come about?
Well, back in the day when the play-by-play guys, there would be a traveling call. They would say, he walked far enough to call a cab. So I played off on the walking and the walk, and I go, walking.
And is there like is the echo thing turned on or something or not? It seems like there is.
We go back to Brad Vaughn, who was his facility manager. He was up in the booth, and he'd started the echoing. And so on walking, he started that, and that just continued. We got,
Johnny, 490 people right now on here. This is probably a record. I knew KJ was coming on, and we have a record here. The Max Rice, how folks are wanting you to do that too. How did that just kind of come?
That just came. Rice is such a great name, and Rice. And I asked Max at the beginning or last year, at the end of last year, I go, "You okay with that?" And he goes, "Oh, I love it. I love it." So.
Any other famous or for you, I guess, memorable either ways you pronounce guys' names or things you say during the game, or any that stand out to you? The guys that did like it, didn't like it, or anything like that?
I haven't had anybody come up and say they didn't like what I did. And, of course, Arnell Jones, that was the first one that really got going. And James Webb III, when he would make a three-pointer. And oh, there was Zach Haney. Remember Zach Haney?
Yes, of course.
You remember the show Green Acres?
Sure.
Okay, he made a foul one time, and I go, foul on Mr. Haney.
Leon ever look at you or anything to you?
No, not. Well, yes. Earlier in the year,
okay.
Max was shooting a technical foul shot.
And you were talking.
And I was talking, and he looked at me and goes, he's shooting. I go, yeah? My voice is going to disturb him from making a free throw?
If there was ever something you wanted to say and you never did, I mean, tonight's the night, right? I mean, is there anything that you want to bust out tonight for the final time? I mean, they can't fire you.
Well,
You're
that's
done.
true. That's true. I don't know. Maybe I will.
Someone's asking about Reggie Larry. Did you say his name a certain way? Or?
Yeah, it was always Reggie Larry. Reggie, a great guy. What a great guy. And congratulations to him. They just had a baby.
J. Mike Williams says this is so awesome having KJ on. He said had season tickets back in the Bobby Dye days. The pavilion was rocking back then. Good to see it coming back. I mean, you've seen so many different eras of this program. What has it been like to this last under Leon? These last couple of years to see the crowds come out and stuff the way they have.
That has been awesome. It really has. And last year, the San Diego State game that ranks right up there as one of the loudest. And the other night against New Mexico,
sure,
that was loud. And I got a hunch. I just hope we get a good crowd tonight.
Yeah.
The 9 o'clock tip-off doesn't, it's not the best circumstances and the weather, but hopefully we'll get, 8,000-9,000 people here.
What's your favorite game? Any games stand out to you or moments?
You've
seen, I mean, you're over to 1,200 games or something?
I think like that.
Yeah.
Thank you. You didn't ask me the question about my favorite national anthem.
Did you ever do it?
No. Probably the Tyus Edney 3-point when he went to the NCAA.
You were the PA
game.
Announcer for that?
Yeah, I was PA announcer for all of the tournaments.
Wow, how about that? I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And
is that what you were doing, Johnny? Johnny was over there off camera going like this, and I was like wondering what he was doing. But
down
was
that
it
corner
over there? Okay.
All the way down.
And of course, me being a KU guy, I love that to beat Missouri there. That was that was great. But they're happy with the Hampton beating Iowa State, right? There's been some memorable games here.
Incredible, and the community. The Hampton band came in, and you're used to the same songs played over and over. the Hampton band, they came out with some jazz, some New Orleans type jazz, and the cheerleaders are coming out here and doing some moves that the good state of Idaho has not seen. And the community fell in love with these guys and gals. We went to a hockey game the Friday night afterwards, and the Hampton band was there, a standing ovation when they walked in. I was lucky enough to have a suite that night.
Okay.
I went down and grabbed a couple of the cheerleaders and said, "Come on up to the suite with us." They were up there dancing, and we just
What was the phrase? Moves nobody in Idaho has seen.
yeah, let me tell you.
James Hayes, our friend, wants to ask you about your underhand half-court shots.
Oh yeah, back in the day before things were, not so programmed, I would try underhand half-court shots, and I would make probably a third of them. Really? Yeah.
Wow. How about that? Who's going to replace you?
I think, and I don't know this for sure, but I think it's going to be Brett Connor, the guy who's been filling in for me while I was gone this year.
Okay. You went on a cruise, right? You've had a little bit of time off.
I did one game. I had eye surgery, and then 2 games I went on a cruise. And Brett was 1-2 in those games.
Yeah,
So,
you were the only 2 home losses when you weren't here, right?
Undefeated. I'm still undefeated
this guy's
at home.
Undefeated at home. Both home losses when you were not
I guess
here.
I'm the glue that holds this team together.
What did you ever get any advice on how to do this, or did you just kind of wing it?
I just did it on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the hardest part? Or is it
keeping up with it? A lot of the times, the darn officials and the coaches get in my way, and I can't see who's making baskets and stuff. So that and the names, some of the names of the opposing teams, you try to pronounce them correctly, but every once in a while you're going to screw it up.
What do you want? What do you hope when folks think about your career and what you did here the last 45 years? What do you hope is that they'll say about you, folks that came to the games?
That I did it with class and that I was a Bronco fan.
You can be that on the PA, right?
Yeah.
I love how fast you go through the starting lineups for the other team. You're kind of like at guard, Keenan Blackshear, at guard, Jared Lucas, at forward, head coach, Steve Alford.
Here's a great story. Our general manager, when I was over at KBOI and KQFC, his name was Al Volstak. He's passed away. He came to a game when we were playing Idaho. And so I'm announcing the game at Idaho, and I'm introducing the starting lineups, and it was just, number 12, BJ Raines, number 12, Johnny Ball Game. Just really mundane. And then, of course, when Broncos come on, I'm going over the top. Well, Al Volstak goes to Bob Rosenthal, who is now our sales manager. He says, we got a problem with KJ. And Bob goes, what do you mean? He goes, I was at the game the other night, and he was so unfair to Idaho. His enthusiasm was not the same for the Idaho Vandals. And Bob had to explain to Al, that's his job, Al. That's his job.
Well, I mean, I know you're still keeping your day job for now, right? 101.5 Cool FM.
Correct. They let me still do that. And
I was going to say you can't totally just let it rip tonight because you got to leave something left in the vocal cords.
Yeah, that's right. And I got to, still representing Iliad Media, so I got to be good.
I got the video here. I want to show it while I'm asking. But what did it mean to you the other day when they came out and honored you at half court the way they did? What did that mean to you?
Got to tell you, BJ, that meant the world to me. That for Dr. Trump to be out there and Jeremiah Dickey and this framed jersey, that means the world to me. It is so awesome. And I was crying out there.
I did see some
tears in my eyes. And and then to have the people stand up and applaud me. Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. And that's something I will never, ever, ever forget.
I mean, you really have been the voice, as this gentleman said, that's 35 years old. He's never heard anyone else other than a random game or two. I mean, did you ever realize that, or do you feel like you do have a connection with the basketball time in Boise and all the stuff? I mean, you're part of basketball, Boise State basketball to a lot of people here. I mean, did you try to take that with pride?
Oh yeah, absolutely. To be the only voice in this arena, that means a whole lot to me.
And I guess final thing, and we'll let you get ready for the game. But just what how do you sum it up? 45 years, and just as you sign off for the final time tonight, I'm sure I don't know if you're gonna have another message for the fans or what, but just how do you sum up your career and what you've been able to do to this point?
45 years. I was 26 years old when I started this thing. I'm 70 years old now, and where has that time gone? I mean, my twice weekly visits to the Extra Mile Arena are going to be over. I'll come back for some other games, but that's a tough question, BJ. It's a tough question.
Are you going to be the fill-in guy, or is this?
I hope so.
Okay,
I
so
hope
this may not be the last time we hear you.
Yeah, maybe not.
Okay.
They may not want me to come back. Who knows? Maybe they're glad I'm out of here.
Well,
who knows?
Good luck tonight. Bring it. We need the best. It's basketball time in Boise of your career tonight. This is a big game. Tell the fans to get on their effing feet if you need to. Get fired up, KJ. Congratulations on a hell of a career, man. We got literally 671 people, and that is a record for Bronco Nation News.
Thank you, Bronco Nation.
It's because they knew you were coming on. So thanks, man, and good luck tonight, man. Congratulations. There he is. We appreciate KJ Mack for coming on. Again, the final game of his career. Started calling Boise State games in 1940. Not that long. 1979. He's been doing it for 45 years. We're going to go straight to Abe Jackson here in just a minute. You see both teams on the court warming up. We're having some fun. We got a lot of interviews and things to go to. It's going to be a fun next hour or so here on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. 676 of you. Don't go anywhere. We got a ton of stuff to get to. Again, Lithia Ford Boise, lithiafordboise.com. You can view their full inventory of vehicles. The gates have just opened. The fans are coming in. Probably not going to be a full sellout tonight, but I know where it should be a good crowd. And I always got to turn it when Abe comes on. I always got to raise up the. You're a little taller than KJ Mack, but I had you muted there. There we go. Abe, we're going stick mic tonight because I got about 5 guests rotating through.
All right.
Senior night, man.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
It is. Yeah, more emotions in this game than some other games, and more feelings in this game than just rankings and standings and things like that. So. At least for me, it wasn't one of those things that hit me while I was warming up. It was one of those things that kind of hit me like a week or two after the game was done. I can remember thinking, okay, all right, I guess I'm not doing that anymore in that building. So, no, it's an emotional night. Some players handle it well. Sometimes they don't. So we'll see.
What is it? It is different, though. You walk out with your family.
Sure. Yeah.
You do real. When did it kind of hit you? This is your last game.
You realize it when your family's there because, every coach and every player loves consistency in what you do. How you prepare for a game, your warm-ups, you usually do the exact same drills. Your intros are the exact same. Then the last game, your family's there and they walk out with you. That's not a normal thing. So, it's kind of out of norm for a game, but it's also very special because there's a lot of people that go in to all of these athletes, and especially the seniors who've played basketball probably since like second grade. There's a lot of people that need to be acknowledged, and having family and friends here, I think, is a very awesome thing to do for senior night.
Max Rice went through this last year, but he probably knew in his mind he was coming back. This obviously will be his last game.
Yeah.
Well, how do you sum up the career of Max Rice who gets ready for his final home game?
I was thinking about that today, actually, and I don't know if there's a player that I can remember that's had a more kind of unique journey. And you got to throw in that his dad's the coach. That's what really makes it so unique. But when he got here, what were the expectations? How was it going to work with his dad as a coach? A lot of the fans have never seen that before, and it's worked out phenomenal. He really just got better every single year until he was one of the best players in the league. All-conference player last year. Would not be surprised if he lands on an all-conference team this year again. From someone who was a walk-on when he started to just working his way up the depth chart. And now one of the best shooters to probably ever walk into this gym.
And how does he I think we all expect and hope he has a big game tonight. But you said some senior nights go the other way.
Sure.
Do you think Max is the kind of guy that can hone this in and have a big game tonight?
I think everybody on this team is going to play well. I don't think that a senior night will affect them. Just like I don't think that a game in front of 10,000 people or a game in front of 10 people would affect this team. So many veteran coaches, great leadership. I think they're going to be just fine.
What else? That first Nevada game, Boise State absolutely dominated on the boards.
Yeah.
I mean, can you expect to do that again, or how big of a key is the rebounding again?
I'd go the under for Boise State winning by 19 on the boards this game. I think they're going to win on the boards, but Nevada's had issues rebounding all year long, so it's been a focus for them. So I think they're going to rebound better than they did the first time Boise State saw them. But I also think, again, Boise State has the advantage in the post, and I think they're going to, with the two players, individually, maybe not, especially with San Diego State and Lithia. But you look at both players in Degenhart and Stanley, I don't think there's a better interior duo in the league than those two. So I think the Broncos go inside again and get some shots, and that can also lead to rebounds.
Somebody was asking about Keenan Blackshear. He is suited up.
He's out there warming up. He does have a big wrap on his, I believe it's his left ankle, up maybe about 6 inches toward his calf. I think it was a calf injury that kept him out the last couple games, but he is out there.
And he's one of their best players. But the last two games they've won without him.
Right. In one of those games they probably should. I think it was at Fresno State. And then one game it was a right-hand shot off the right foot from Jared Lucas at half court to win. I'm sure everybody saw that shot. But it's kind of interesting when you have one of your best players or maybe the best player go down, how other people just have to step up. If you don't, you're going to get blown out of the building. Jared Lucas has played out of his mind the last couple games. Some other guys have really played well, too. They have one of the better defenders in the league on the perimeter. So I think it'll be a good game, but it'll be interesting to see how Blackshear fits back into this lineup after some success in the last two games.
Could Boise State be playing any better at this point down the stretch? I mean, we've talked about you want to play your best basketball in March, and it certainly seems like they're ascending at the perfect time.
You couldn't ask for better basketball from the Broncos right now, from rebounding to your studs showing up to getting to the free throw line and shooting over 80% in this 5-game win streak. I think it's the best that they've played. This could be some of the best basketball that we've seen at Boise State in the Leon Rice era. I know there have been some phenomenal teams that have come through, but you take a look at what this team has done, and you have to look at what the league is this year, where you could send 6 teams to the NCAA tournament, and in these last 2 games, you could go from winning the regular season to, I think, maybe even getting 5th, depending on if you win or lose the next 2 games and other teams winning and losing their games as well. So pretty wild last 2 games, and hopefully they get it done here tonight.
And this year, it seems like that. I don't know what that was. I just hit a drum roll. The 1 seed does seem like there'd be a big advantage this year.
Huge advantage.
And we don't want the 3 seed, the 9 p.m. games. Come on.
No, you don't want the 3 seed, but the 1 seed is such an advantage, I think, because every coach would love to play around that 12 or 12:30 on the first day. But then also your first game is going to be against like a Wyoming or a Fresno. If you're the 2 seed, your first game is going to be against maybe a New Mexico or a Colorado State. Huge advantage. That's why everybody needs to be pulling for San Jose tonight or tomorrow.
Yep.
And then New Mexico at Logan in the last home game for the Aggies. And, of course, the Broncos to win out. And that's how they would be first by themselves.
And it seems like this game is kind of like the last, like no one's going to, it doesn't matter if you lose at San Diego State. It feels like this is kind of the last game where they really can win it and then kind of play with house money on Friday.
Yeah, you could look at it. You could look at it that way, but they could also be looking at one of the highest seeds they've ever had in the history of the NCAA tournament. And I know that the chatter now, of course, is can the Broncos get that first round win? And there's no better way to get a first round win than to make your seed better. You get this win here, you go to San Diego State and get a win, and then have a nice showing in the Mountain West tournament. I mean, you could be looking at a pretty solid single-digit seed.
Last thing, keys to the game.
You got to rebound, of course. I think so, but then you have to handle their guards. We talked about handling the New Mexico guards. Nevada might even be tougher because they are even bigger guards with Jared Lucas and Keenan Blackshear.
Perfect, man. Appreciate you as always, man. Thanks a lot.
Last home game, BJ.
Last home game. We'll do it on Friday down in San Diego,
All
man.
right.
Thanks a lot. There he is, Abe Jackson. We appreciate him. We're going to go from one guest to another. We got the pool party coming up. If you're coming down to Las Vegas, make sure you join us for the Bronco Nation News pool party. We'll be in Las Vegas. We got 762 of you. Record viewership here at Bronco Nation News today. So email me at rains@bronconationnews.com. We will get you hooked up with the pool party RSVP, and we are excited about that. We're going to continue the live guests here, and I wasn't going to bother you, but you texted me and said, you know what, why not? It's senior night. We've been doing it all year. You might as well finish up doing it.
Well, I kind of figured I'm in Boise at Extra Mile Arena. I got to come see you for 5-6 minutes.
Well, we appreciate
Give you my take of what I might see, whether you agree with it, disagree with it. But also I like to hear your take before the national broadcast. So hopefully I understand this team a little bit more.
Well, we got 769 people, which is a by far a record. Johnny's laughing over there because a normal pregame show, we're in the 200 range. So senior night, 700 people. I think it was because they heard you were coming on. They all decided to jump on, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. I don't think that's the result of the traffic boost, but who knows? I'm sure you enjoy it. Maybe the Degenhart family back in Spokane's there.
Well, probably.
I talked to Tyson after shoot-around. He said, unfortunately, family can't make it today because they're going to be down at the conference tournament. But if the Degenharts are watching, hello from Boise.
There you go. Dan Dickow, our guest, and I know our time is limited. You're on FS1 tonight, 9 o'clock on the call. Max Rice, senior night. You've known Leon. I saw you talking to him. Known this family a long time. It's been, a heck of a career for Max Rice. Top 15 all-time in scoring. I think he needs 9 points to go into the top 15. He's already the winningest player in Boise State history. He has a chance to finish number 2 in Mountain West history. I know the COVID rules come in, change some things. He gets the extra year, but how do you sum up the career of Max Rice ahead of his final home game here?
I think it's been impressive. Yes, people are going to say, well, he got an extra year with COVID, all this, that, and the other. But when you think about it, to have the success that he's had under the circumstances of being a coach's kid is impressive. It's difficult to do either one of those, have a great career or handle being a coach's kid at this level. He's done both of those extremely well. And when you think about, the growth of his career, he's shown a lot of skill development. He's shown a lot of toughness. But I think the biggest thing that he's shown is that what he does on the floor impacts wins and losses. And Boise, back-to-back years in the NCAA tournament, they're looking like they're clearly going to be there a third year. I think the thing that would be great for Leon and Max to finish out their time together would be getting that first win in program history in the NCAA tournament.
We ask you a lot about Tyson because you're obviously very close with him and do some camps and things and have followed him his whole life. You're probably not surprised, but here he is back, in the thick of the Player of the Year race and pretty much averaging well over 20 points, and you can count on him for 22 and 7 pretty much every game now. What have you seen the last month out of Tyson?
Well, I think what you're continuing to see is a player that, similar to Max, figures out what needs to be done to put his team in a position to win. And when things are difficult, meaning to get a win in the league play down the stretch, he showed it in high school, he's shown it in college. When things are difficult and the setting is difficult, he rises to that occasion, and he's shown that. I think 8 of over his last 9 games, he's averaging around 22 points a game, over 61% from the field, I think, if I remember the numbers correctly. So he's one of those guys that just puts you in positions to win, and some days it's rebounding, sometimes it's defensive effort. Lately, it's been scoring the basketball, and he's been scoring at a really impressive clip.
I hate to do this, Ian. If you don't want to answer, I totally get it, but if Mike Hopkins gets fired at Washington, do Boise State fans have any reason to worry, do you think? With Max leaving, it would seem like the timing, if it was going to happen, would be. But I think this team is built to be a top 25, Sweet 16 team next year again, and Leon's finally getting the crowd support here and finally got it rolling. I know it'd be really tough, but can you see any way he would look at the Washington job? Or?
Well, first off, if that job were to open up, and I hate speculating on a job that's not open, I think Mike Hopkins is a great guy. I think he's a good coach. Things haven't worked out at different times for him, but that's the nature of college athletics, especially nowadays. If that were to be an opportunity, I think it would be hard for Leon to go for it, simply for the fact that you touched on a lot of the important things, like the crowd support. It's a 9 p.m. game tonight on a Tuesday, and it's near sellout. That's impressive, right? They've been to back-to-back looking to get to their third NCAA tournament. He's got 9, I think, 21 seasons. He's done a lot of impressive things, but I do think there's still things that Leon wants to get done in Boise that he has a chance to get done, win a game in the NCAA tournament. I think you touched on his roster makeup and being how it's built for next year and years beyond. It's good. You look at Abo, maybe he tests the NBA waters to learn some things, but he should be back, I would imagine. Tyson should be back. You look at some of the younger guys.
Omar Stanley back?
Omar Stanley, I think, will be back. Then you look at some of the guys that are redshirting this year, and I've seen him at shoot-around, and you're like, okay, there's some talent that's not even on the floor this year.
Sure. Chris
Lockett Jr., the kid from New Orleans, comes to mind quickly. This is built, the way Leon's got this going, I think it's built to have continued success. But, again, it's the nature of college athletics. There's opportunities for players and coaches when you have success, and you never know. But I would think that it would be a difficult thing to leave what he's got going here.
And I know he's turned down Washington State a couple times. I mean, who knows? But I hope he stays, man. I think he's got it just right, ready to just go take off even further with next year's roster. Final thing, I'll let you go. By the way, when you told me that you'd come on, I had to. You always are dressed way nicer than me, so I wore the tie not for senior night, but I didn't want you. I didn't want you to be the best dressed guy on the set here. So, thank you for making me dress up a little. But just this matchup. Last time they played in Reno, Boise State dominated the glass. It was early in conference season. It was a big kind of early signature win for Boise State. How do you see the game tonight? Keys, and just what are you looking at? What's going to be the keys for both teams?
Well, Nevada's a really good ball club. They've won their last 5. I think they've won 8 of their last 9. The only two losses they've had is to New Mexico in the last 10 games. Granted, that matchup down in Reno, you mentioned the domination on the glass for Boise State, but Nevada didn't shoot it well from the three-point line either that night. They're a team that can get hot. Last game against Fresno State, they hit 11 threes. They had 26 field goals, 23 assists on those 26 field goals. So they're the team that plays well on the offensive end of the floor. The question mark is, does Blackshear play tonight? He went through shoot-around. Haven't heard official word one way or the other, but he changes the dynamic of how they play. The big point guard, they post him up a lot. They've been successful with him, but they also, looked really good the last couple games with him out of the lineup. So it's kind of one of those things where you watch Boise State and shoot around, they prep for both ideas with him playing as well as without him playing.
Well, hey, man, appreciate it. Like I said, I was going to let you have a game without coming on. I appreciate it. You're doing big things in the podcast world. Oh, I'm muted there. Appreciate you coming on. You're doing big things in the podcast world, too. Where can folks find what you got going on covering Gonzaga and stuff?
Yeah, so, you're doing an amazing job with the Bronco Nation News, and I'm looking forward to kind of picking your brain for our group in Spokane that's doing some Gonzaga coverage, Gonzaga Nation SI. We've got myself and Adam Morrison. Each week we have a show called Talking Zags where we have a former Gonzaga player or coach come and be a part of just talking about their experiences at Gonzaga, the current team, past memories, all those different things. Leon was a guest when they played earlier this year up in Spokane against Washington State. So Gonzaga Nation SI is where we do a lot of different stuff. And again, like I said, you're doing great stuff with Bronco Nation. I got to get our team to talk to you about all the stuff that you're doing here.
Maybe after the season, we'll collaborate here.
Absolutely.
So appreciate you as always, man. Have a good call. Thanks a lot. Dan always is nice enough to come on. We appreciate it. Dan Dickow, you can hear him at 9 o'clock coming up on the call on Fox Sports 1. We're going to take a quick 90-second timeout. We got more live interviews. We got the big Max Rice interview. Everybody wants to hear from Max Rice. We'll hear from him, Cam Martin, Mo Silla, all the seniors. We got Robin Rice, Leon Rice's wife, the mother of Max Rice. She is going to join us live. Our contest winner, Roy Miller, is going to join us live. We got a lot to get to. Quick 90-second timeout. Don't go anywhere here on Bronco Nation News. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. We have 889 of you. This is a record for Travis. We got 889 people on here. We have set a record by far for any live broadcast. And all of them better go to the Blue and Orange store and make sure they go get their Boise State gear as Travis Hawks just walked by. This is amazing. Senior night, 890 people are watching this. Looks like on YouTube, we've got 154 of you. We've got 572 of you on Twitter, 19 of you on Facebook. So thank you to all of you guys for watching us. 890, just an incredible viewership here on senior night. And really appreciate all you guys for coming in and supporting BNN. We would love to have you subscribe if you can. BNN 50 deal is that promo code at the bottom of the screen. And we really appreciate all you guys. BNN 50 deal is the promo code. Would love to have you jump in and subscribe. BroncoNationNews.com is the website. Daily coverage of Boise State athletics. Morning shows every morning at 9 a.m. Pre- and post-game shows. By the way, we're going to try to go live post-game interviews tonight on the post-game show. We're going to try to have the players in Leon streaming live. So it's going to be a little different setup for the post-game show. Just stick with us. We're up to 895. So we are approaching 900. Even when Spencer Danielson was hired, when Andy Avalos was fired, we were in like the 500 range. This is unbelievable. 894 of you watching live on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. So thank you so much to all of you. And again, subscribe if you can. We'd love to have you guys subscribe and join BNN. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Tell your friends. Make sure you jump in. Hit like on this video. If you're one of the 154 on YouTube, please hit like. Please make sure you subscribe our channel. If you're watching on Twitter, the 500 of you, 905. We made it. We're up to 905 viewers right now on BNN. So pretty remarkable here that we have now hit 907. If we get to 1,000, does everyone get free lean feast? We'll have to see. But Boise State, not just a football school anymore. 912 of you as this thing continues to rise. Appreciate you guys so much. Hey, let's hear from Max Rice. My interview, you guys waited for it. You wanted it. Here it is yesterday. Max Rice here on Bronco Nation News.
All right, the interview folks have been wanting for a month. We got Max Rice joining us. Max, we cool, man? We good to go here?
Hey, we've always been good, man. Come on, we're good.
Appreciate you, man. Senior night tomorrow, this court, final time suiting it up in a game. What are just the emotions like for you right now?
Yeah, like I said over there, I mean, it's pretty surreal just for all this to be coming to an end. And we got a lot to look forward to still, so just got to stay focused. But it's been an amazing journey and definitely a dream come true to play here.
Get that a little closer to your mouth to make sure everybody can hear us here. But just what does come to mind when you just think about all the years, all the practices, all the games, and maybe even if you go back before you even got here as a player, just being a part of this program as a fan, you know, with your dad. I mean, just what kind of floats into your mind when you think about all that time kind of culminating, at least right now, tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to just growing up around this program. It was always a goal of mine to be able to play here and contribute and try to make this the best program it can be. And I always knew I could do it, but just actually doing it is a different thing. And being a part of what I think could be the best Boise State team ever, heading into deep March. So there's a lot to look forward to, and I'm really excited to finish it off in Extra Mile Arena tomorrow.
And what does that mean to you to you know, you'd have your detractors, whatever, folks like me putting out stuff on Twitter, whatever. But, I mean, just in general, you know, I think you've silenced 99.9% of people in your career here. There's always going to be the 2 or 3 haters out there. But for the most part, when you got here, some people said, okay, is he here because his dad's a coach? Then you got a scholarship, and it's okay, he's getting a scholarship because his dad's a coach. I don't think anyone's ever going to be able to, when it's all said and done, say you didn't deserve what you got and you earned what you got. I mean, how does that mentally make you feel when you look back at the last 5-6 years? Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, I think I play better when my back's against the wall, so I kind of like when you throw some of that stuff out there like you do. But you didn't like it that much, apparently.
No, it got blown out of proportion. But BJ's always been great to me, and I know that. And it's been a dream come true being able to have the career I've had here. And I've always looked up to dudes like Derek Marks and Anthony Drimmick and all those guys when I was younger, and I was like, I want to be like that when I'm older. So to be able to say I've kind of put in that work and hopefully can leave Boise State on top is huge.
How have you dealt how did you deal with some of that stuff over the years where people thought it was only because your dad's a coach, and even this year when you're having some struggles and stuff? I mean, I think a lot of people knew a game like New Mexico was eventually coming. I've said that numerous times, and it did, but I mean, just how mentally did it ever, maybe early in your career, was it tougher to deal with, or how did you kind of try to not put too much on that, but want to prove to people that you deserve to be out there?
Yeah, I mean, people forget for 3 years I was trying to build my role and do all that. I mean, doubt definitely crept in at some points where I was like, am I good enough to really make the impact that I think I can make here? And we had all these transfers coming in, and I felt like it's now or never. Like, if I get overlooked one more year, then I'm going to have 1 year left in my career and to go play somewhere else. But I knew I wanted to finish my career here, and I knew I could break in the rotation. And I know in a couple of years looking back on it, this will be the best experience I ever had, and I'm so glad I kept with it.
What have you been most proud of in terms of what you've done on the court or as part of this program in the last 5-6 years?
The most proud is just being a part of teams that are winning and are respected by other people in the league and around the country. Obviously, we have more to prove this year. I want to do things Boise State's never done. I want to make a run in the NCAA tournament. I want to. Just a couple years ago, we were talking about, we got a monkey on our back in the Mountain West tournament. I know you remember that. I wanted to take that off, and now I want to make a run in the NCAA tournament. So there's still a lot of things to be done before I call it good.
What does it mean, though, to be a part of this golden era and your family, and these last 3 years in particular, to have maybe the best 3-year stretch, will be the best 3-year stretch this program's ever had? Just to know that when people look back at these teams and know that you were an integral part of that, what does that part mean to you?
Yeah, it means a ton. And like I said, I think the highest seed we've ever gotten in the NCAA tournament is 8.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in a 6-bid league, and we're right at the top with 2 games left in the regular season. So when you kind of take a step back and look at what we've done this year, it's honestly, it's amazing. And I think if we finish it out the way I know we can, it could go down as one of the best teams to ever play here.
A lot of us think this will someday, this court will be named in honor of your family. And I've always said, not Leon Rice Court, the Rice Family Court, because of what you've done, your brother, your mom being in the stands, and what she's done for all the players behind the scenes. I mean, your family for 14 years now, whatever it's been and counting, has been just such a mainstay. I mean, what have you thought about what it's going to be like, next season coming back as a fan and not being out there on the court?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I think Leon's done a great job, but we were talking about it just the other day. Like, there's so many good players coming back, and with the additions of some of our red shirts, Emmanuel is going to be a lot, really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of those freshmen that are playing, this team has a chance to be preseason top 25, in my opinion. There's a lot to look forward to for Bronco Nation, and I'm really excited to be a fan of the program when I'm done.
The game everyone points to is the one against San Diego State. Maybe the banked-in 3 is kind of the one shot. And, the one you had the other night was, I don't know if it hit the roof or not, was a big one. But obviously in terms of mattering for the game, is there a bigger shot for you or one that stands out, that one where the loose play and the ball was tipped out and banked in 3 there, and how loud that arena was at that moment? Or what are a couple 2 or 3 individual shots or moments that stand out from your time?
Yeah, I think those ones were pretty big. Maybe the late one against New Mexico where I kind of shot it from the side against Mashburn. I like that one. And then maybe there was a couple big ones in the conference tournament, I think. I don't know, maybe sometime through there. But, yeah, there's been some big shots and a lot that I feel like when I'm done here I'll look back on and be happy that we got those wins.
Everyone knew you were a shooter, but you've added to your game with the rebounding, with the steals, some of the other stuff you've done. We saw one of the passes you had to Buzo last night. I mean, what part of your game, I guess, over the last 5-6 years are you most proud of that you've developed and kind of proven that you can be maybe more than just a shooter?
Yeah, I think I've worked a lot on my defense. When I first got here, I couldn't really move laterally at all. And now I feel like I can move a little better just with all the work our strength coach has put in on me. Coach Whitmer, big shout out to him. He's changed my body a lot. And yeah, just developing my defense and kind of my post game a little bit and some other facets of my game. But just becoming like a complete player is big for me, I think.
So what would it mean to you to make some damage here in March, and I guess in particular that first win you were talking about, to have that be added to your legacy here on the way out the door? How important is that to you? How much is that kind of driving you and pushing you at this point?
Oh, yeah, that keeps me going every day. I knew when I decided to come back to Boise State that was my main goal, to make history and win a game in March. And it's all about matchups, too. We've had some tough ones in the past 2 years, but I think with the right matchup and maybe a good location even, that'd be set for a great NCAA tournament.
So everyone asks me, what's next for Max Rice? What's next for you after your Boise State career is done?
Yeah, I definitely want to see where my professional career takes me and maybe travel the world a little bit and see what it's like to play for a different team. And then I want to get into coaching after that. maybe be kind of what Lexus Williams is here, maybe somewhere else, like a player development.
I think they have a couple spots where you might be able to land.
Definitely. There's some high-level coaches out there that I hope would take me in, and I want to start my coaching career and go from there.
I guess final thing, this game against Nevada, the game against San Diego State, like this final push here, how much are you guys still pushing? How important is that conference championship? And just your thoughts on playing Nevada tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's big. To play NCAA tournament teams this time of year is also big for to be ready for the NCAA tournament and the Mountain West tournament. Nevada's playing really good right now. Even with Blackshear not playing the last 2 games, they've been playing really well. So it's going to be a battle tomorrow night, and then at San Diego State, obviously, is going to be huge as well. So if we can just play good tomorrow and see where everything falls, I think we'll be playing for a Mountain West championship on Friday.
Well, hopefully I've earned back the views on this over the last month, man. Appreciate you, man. All good, man. Thanks a lot, and good luck.
There he is, Max Rice. Appreciate him. Guys, we have hit over 1,012 viewers. Pretty incredible. And I want to introduce you. I just met him myself a few minutes ago. Roy Miller. He is our winner of the trip going to San Diego on Friday for the game. Congratulations, Roy. Thank you for being a BNN subscriber. Tell folks about yourself and your background and being a BSU fan. You got to get that clear. There you go. Oh, I had you muted. There you go.
Just moved to Boise probably 25 years ago, and just back when they started, just started going to their games and just got to be a big fan.
Yeah.
Moved to Eastern Idaho, but I've lived here for quite a while, and I just got to be a Boise State fan and still a big fan.
You were telling me you used to have season tickets for a long time and obviously been to a lot of games.
Yes, season tickets, and we still try to go every bowl game every year. Me and my son do. And so, yeah, we just try to go every year down to the bowl games and just big fans, and I'm so excited we won.
James said you're ready to go surf with those locks. You're gonna,
oh, heck yeah.
I don't think we have that much time in San Diego, but
well, hopefully we get some surfing in.
When you heard you won the trip, how excited were you?
Oh, I was really excited. I was awful excited. Then I called my nephew up. So I'm taking with me, and he was so excited and pumped. He lives here in Nampa, and so me and him are going down, and really, really excited.
What's a favorite memory as a Boise State fan? Favorite game you've been to or watched?
Probably the Vegas Bowl when they played Utah and just beat the hell out of them because I don't like Utah. So that was probably my favorite one right there. Just how they dominate Utah. Oh, no, my favorite one, me and my nephew went down, 3 years ago when BSU played BYU at BYU. And they were losing in the first half, and they came back. Khalil Shakur made that amazing catch.
That's right,
and they came back and beat him. And we were sitting right in the BYU section, so we got late tickets, and that was the funnest. No, that was by far the funnest game. So I'm kind of loud.
Yeah.
Because I was cheering in the BYU section.
Well,
that was by far the funnest game.
All right. Well, final thing, we're going to bring Robin Rice on in 1 minute, but just watching these games, knowing the trip was coming, how exciting has this been? How excited?
Every game, and every game they win, it gets more exciting because hey, they're going to win the conference this year.
Hey, man. Roy, appreciate you. Congratulations. Friday is going to be awesome. We're going to get plenty of beverages in you ahead of time, and you better be loud as can be on Friday.
I'm definitely a loud person. We don't got to worry about that. Hey, thanks a lot, BJ.
Appreciate it. We'll talk to you on Friday, Roy. Thanks a lot. Roy Miller, we appreciate him. We appreciate Roy Miller. Robin, you can go ahead and come on up here. We'll help her get her on. Robin Rice, nice enough to join us next. I want to thank a couple of our sponsors. We're at 1,025. This is unbelievable. We appreciate you guys for checking us out. Robin Rice is going to join us in just a second. Want to tell you about Lithia Ford of Boise, lithiafordboise.com. Check them out. View their full inventory of vehicles. They got 5 NILs deals going on. You can check them out at lithiafordboise.com. Again, lithiafordboise.com. TacoBellWorks.com. If you're looking for a job, check them out. TacoBellWorks.com. They are hiring as well. You can get free food and half your wages right after your shift. So can't beat that. Check them out. TacoBellWorks.com. The Blue and Orange Store. All your Boise State gear, whether it's the Max Rice NIL shirts, your jerseys, caps, bumper stickers, car flags, you name it. Check them out, theblueandorangestore.com. And if you need a job, TCS, the trucking industry, it's a booming industry right now. Check them out, Transportation Compliance Service, transcomservice.com. Check them out, get into the trucking industry. And Jeff Minert and his staff, we appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. Somebody was asking about Keenan Blackshear for Nevada. Yes, Keenan Blackshear is playing for Nevada, so you'll be seeing Keenan Blackshear out there. He is warming up, but we are pleased to be joined right now by the real MVP of the Rice family, Robin Rice. We appreciate you for joining us. You have to keep the mic pretty close to your mouth there, but Senior night, what are the emotions like for you, Mrs. Rice?
You know, they weren't like that high and heavy until Cade sent me some emotional song, and he was like, "This is Dad, Max," and I'm like, "Oh, I just hit play," and I'm like, "What are you sending me?" It was getting me emotional in the car. So, I mean, it's pretty business as usual because it's a big game. So I think they try to not get lost in the emotion of it, really.
What has the last 6 years been like for you, having Leon and Max playing together, and then the last 2 now with Cade also? What has this been like?
So it's just been great. Like, we're just trying to appreciate every moment, and the boys have been really present with that too. Like, they understand that this is a very special moment in time to just take in and appreciate, because it's so rare to be able to play for your dad and then have your brother on the team. And then Brock's pretty involved with, different aspects of media stuff. So yeah, it's just a special thing that I think we'll look back on and just really think, God, that was a cool thing to be able to do. Very special.
We set a record tonight. The most people that have ever watched the Bronco Nation News broadcast. There are over 1,000 people watching right now, and I think it's because we teased that you were coming on. So
that's
you were
nice.
The final member of the Rice family that's never been on. We've had everybody else on.
You should have had me on before this.
I think so. It would have helped the viewership for sure. But what Max, just being a local kid, dealing with his dad's the coach, that's why he's on the team and stuff, and then proving the last couple of years he's one of the best players in the conference, let alone the team. What's it been like for you just seeing Max ascend and become as good of a player as he has been?
Yeah, well, the thing about Max is none of it to me as his mom is very surprising, because it is honestly, it's the only thing that he's committed his life to it since being a little boy. Like, he's just had such a big passion for it. So I always knew he could play at this level. And because he just was always that guy. And I just really appreciate watching anyone, especially it's cool when it's your son, but to watch anybody live their dream, to see every stage having passion for it as a little kid, and then growing up through it, and then actually being able to realize it with your family is really something else. But I also appreciate that every kid on this team, every guy on this team, they're all in one way or another like my son also, because of just our close relationships. And they're all like that. So I appreciate everything about what Max has gotten to do and enjoy and experience. And it's the same for all of them, really.
I've said, a lot of people have said, someday when this court is going to be named not the Leon Rice Court, but the Rice Family Court, because of you, and what Max has done, and Cade, and I know we might have to throw Gordy Presnell in there too. He's the all-time winningest coach on the women's side. But I mean, before you had Max, you were still kind of the team mom or whatever. Yeah. But how has that changed, having kids on the team, in terms of having guys over at the house and cooking for them? And how have you been more connected with the team, having kids on the team? It's
changed it a lot, because before we were always close, because when we came from Gonzaga, it was always like, okay, how are we going to do this? And we just were going to model that family atmosphere off of what we did at GU. And so we've always done that. But when Max joined the team, the guys saw me more as mom instead of Leon's wife. And of course, when Max and Kate are on the team, the guys just come over that much more. They always came over a lot, but now, like, my house is their house. We have an open door policy, so it's just a constant, So it's fun. It's great. It's a lifestyle, and then you see it in the payoff now with what this team is and who they are to each other. And it's so obvious to everybody, the genuine love they have for each other. But that's because it's not just an on the court thing. It's they're together all the time, off the court, on the court. And
Bill said Rice Family Court sounds like traffic school. I think it works. But Brett wants to know what the song was that Cade sent you.
Oh my gosh. It was so emotional. It was, I don't know. I got to look it up. Because I didn't know it at all, but it was something about a dad and a son, and I gotta look.
That's all right. You can text me later or whatever. Yeah.
It was like, it caught me off guard. I was like, wait. I don't want to cry.
So do you think when you get out there you did this last year, but did you probably know he was coming back last year?
I felt like he was, but he was undecided.
Okay.
And I think everybody thought he was coming back for sure, but he wasn't. 6 years is a long time, even when you have not played as much as you thought you would those first 3 years. It's a long time to be in a program. So I get where he was like, oh, I don't know. Do I have it in me to play another year of college?
So what's your favorite memory of your son out here on the court? Any shot or game that stands out to you?
Yeah, you know what stands out to me? This game last year against San Diego State, because I remember Jordan interviewed me after that game and Max kind of went off at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And I thought when it was happening, it almost seemed surreal. But if Max is anything like, that's what I would say to like the people that watching, like, you're going to have good games, you're going to have bad games, you're going to be a shooter, you're going to be a facilitator, all those kind of things. But nobody can ever question the just sheer desire, competitive nature of Max, because it's just his heart, it's his soul. And I think you saw it in that game against San Diego State.
Yeah.
And while it was happening, it was almost slow motion to me because I'm like, oh my God, this is like a movie. Like you couldn't really script it any better. It was crazy. And, you only get so many of those moments. And so I'll just mostly remember that one.
Speaking of like a movie, I asked Leon yesterday, in a perfect scenario, you have the lead at the end of the game tonight. Doesn't Cade have to be the one to sub in for Max? I mean, come on, that has to happen.
Well, see,
right?
but a lot of things have to happen for that to happen because you need heavily all those things. So these guys are. It's always just the next point, the next game. Like they're never looking that far ahead to like what's my subbing going to be.
Well, or maybe they both got to be out there together. You got to come on. I know you guys over dinner last night or something. You had to have talked about this.
No, Leon. He's just about winning the game. He's really not about thinking how dramatic or emotional. And I mean, Cade's going to walk Max out. So is Brock.
Okay.
I am. His cousin Shay is here. And then we have 5 seniors.
Yep.
So you kind of got to get that, honor everybody, but you don't want to take too much time doing that because we have a game and people are here waiting.
You mentioned the getting emotional with the video. Will you be emotional out there on the court?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
I mean, I'll be emotional at the banquet.
Okay.
On Sunday, because we do the banquet, as you know, before we go to the conference tournament.
Yep.
And that's where all the guys get up and they give their speech and they talk about, but you know what? Like, this is another good example. I wasn't that emotional about it until like today, Lexus posted a podcast with Max. And one, I was struck at how honest Max is. Like, he just speaks straight. He doesn't like monitor what he says.
Yeah.
And that made me kind of emotional because I just realized the gravity of his experience here. And I do think it's just a special thing that is not lost on any of us that have been around the program for 14 years.
Yep. Well, I know he got mad at me and Jay Tuss for some tweets earlier in the year, but we've moved past that. I know he's dealt with that a lot, folks, and it's got to be satisfying for him, for you guys he's top 15 all time in scoring here. He's the winningest player in the history of Boise State basketball. I know the COVID years had a little bit to do with some of these records, but I mean, nobody can deny that he is going to go down as one of the greatest players in program history here. I mean, and this era where they've made the tournament now, hopefully 3 years in a row, for him to be a part of that, I mean, it's got to be pretty cool as a mom.
Yeah, well, and I always tell people, they ask me how I deal with, the media aspect of it, when people are hating on Max or loving him, all that. And it's just part of college sports. Like, if you didn't have that kind of dichotomy of people that love you and hate you, nobody would be here filling up 13,000 seats, you know?
Sure.
And so when we win, I don't stay away from it as much. But if we lose, or if we don't have the performance that we were hoping to have, I just don't even look at it. So, like, whatever you guys were saying was lost on me,
Well, it was, but I do have to, it wasn't a big deal. It's over with. We've had Max on the show. Everything's good. But I do have to ask you, just as someone that's seen this when this place was empty and seeing Leon having to ride a horse to try to get fans in here, what has it been like these last couple of years to see the administration stepping up with more charters and the budget to add people like Lexus and all the stuff, and then to see at 9 o'clock, I know it's not going to be quite sold out, but a crowd like this, what has it meant to for you and Leon and the family just to see this, the support of this community and this athletic department, is how this program continues to rise? And a lot of people think next year's team is going to be significantly better. Maybe. Nothing against Max or Cam or whoever's leaving, but I mean, just to see this program where it's at, what's it been like for you and the family?
I mean, that's what you hope to do, and you just every year you want to take a step up. And JD has made such a big difference because, there's never been any difference in how hard Leon has worked for this job and for the community. And you know who he is. He's just authentically who he is. And he's been that way over 14 years. But having the support of Jeremiah to I hope that just our fan base understands what a big deal it is that Jeremiah raised the money to get these guys charters, because to the average fan, it might seem like that's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But when you're a student athlete and you're missing 2 days on each side of a game because you're trying to make 2 or 3 connections to a site,
as someone that has to fly commercial to every game, I know the struggle there. It sucks.
And so they're having a lot of success, and that success is built on not just Leon and the staff's work, the players who are so committed, but things like that just no other team, I don't think, in the Mountain West is chartering all these games. And so I think you'll see, it just pays off by the end of the season when the kids are more rested. They're back after a game, even if it's 1 or 2 in the morning, you're back after the game and you're in class the next day. Stuff like that builds on itself, and it's nice to see the community appreciating it, but it's the investment.
Everybody's loving your comments. They're all appreciating you coming on. Thank you so much for doing this. You got a lot of family and friends here. We'll let you get back to it. Okay. Enjoy the night, the moment, and hopefully Max goes for 40 tonight.
Yay. Well, there you go.
I think the ultimate thing everybody wants for Max, for Leon, for everybody is get that first win in the big tournament. Wouldn't that that'd be the way that'd be the story, but way to finish it off. Yes.
That's where we're headed.
Appreciate it, Robin. Thank you so much
BJ.
for coming on.
Thank you, Bronco Nation.
There you go. Appreciate it. I told you, over 1,100 people. We're typically at 150 right now, so it's all because of Robin and the family. So appreciate it. There she is, Robin Rice. We appreciate her for jumping on. Johnny, if you can let Robin sneak by you here. Appreciate Robin for coming on. Great stories there. Great stuff. We are within 15 minutes of tip-off. We're going to keep this thing going for a few more minutes. We don't have to get off here anytime soon. 1,100 of you watching this, 1,168. This is incredible. Thank you so much to everybody. We got 773 of you watching via my Twitter tweet. So appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Keenan Blackshear is out there warming up for Nevada. Keenan Blackshear is going to play for Nevada. Just letting you guys know. Greatest pregame ever. Nice job. Great perspective from Mom. I agree. Let's hear from Cam Martin. You're going to have to turn your sound up a little bit when Cam Martin comes on. And by the way, on the pregame show or on the postgame show, we're going to try to do this live interview, so we're not starting the postgame show at midnight. So we're going to be starting the postgame show. Will start with the live press conference of the players and Coach Rice, and then we'll get your comments and our analysis afterwards. So just so you know, on the postgame show, come on back about 15 minutes after the game ends. The post-game press conference will start the post-game show to try to speed it up so you're not all waiting until midnight to start the show. So let's hear a little bit from Cam Martin. And again, I apologize. The volume's going to be a little low. Turn your volume up a little bit for Cam Martin. Here he is, the seventh-year senior, ahead of his final game at Boise State.
Cam, long basketball journey for you, multiple stops, states, time zones. What's just the emotions for you, your final home game of your college career tomorrow?
Yeah, no, it really hasn't hit me. I feel like this journey's been so long, 7 years, but it's kind of flown by. This is almost my third senior night. I had one at Missouri Southern, almost had one in Kansas, but decided not to with me having one more extra year. So I think it's going to hit me tomorrow, and I'm walking out with my family. It's really over with, because I had that emotion so many times back and forth. Like, is it over? Is it not? Is it? So yeah, it's going to hit me tomorrow.
What stands out to you when you think about all the journey of all the different spots? Was it 5 spots, 4 spots? I can't even count. There's been so many of them, and going down to Florida and then going the JUCO route and going to KU and everything you've done. I mean, what just when you think about it all and what's led you to this point, any thoughts or memories kind of come into your mind?
Yeah, no, just the relationships I made along the way. The biggest thing, I have coaches and friends from each stop I've been at that I still communicate with on daily, and then the whole run to the national championship. I mean, I'll never be able to take that away. It's such a cool experience to be able to witness March Madness like that, and it's hopefully something this team gets to experience as well.
What is kind of how much would it mean to you here for your final season, I guess, to be able to make a run with this team?
No, it'd mean everything, especially with adding to it that Boise State's never won a tournament game. That's something we all talked about at the beginning of the year and had circled kind of on the schedule. but we won't be satisfied with just one win. So that'd mean a lot to me to be able to wrap up my career here with some.
You told me that you knew about that, whether it was when they recruited you or whether you did your research or what. I remember talking to you when you committed way back when over the summer, and you knew that they were 0-9 in the tournament. I mean, you have been aware of that, and that's been pushing you.
Yeah, no, it has been. It's a big thing for all of us, but me as well. I remember talking to you about that. Just being able to be a part of history and be that first team would be something to remember the rest of our lives.
Only been here 1 year, not even a year, 7, whatever it is, 10 months. But what has this community meant to you? What have you thought about Boise and this program? And I know you've been at a lot of places, but how is this one going to stick with you in your time when it's over here?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't pick another university to end my career with. My whole thoughts on Boise and the university has done a complete 360 since I first heard of it. Boise State. Being from the Midwest, I knew Boise State from Marcus Dickinson coming here and being a high school teammate, but I had no idea about the city. I thought it was just somewhere that got 2 feet of snow a year when it's constantly cold, but it's a beautiful city. I've made so many good relationships here with fans and boosters that'll be lifelong friends. So, yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world.
Just everyone knows about the shoulder and all that, but just for you to push through it and be able to get out there on the court and still impact the team this year, how important has that been for you? And just being able to do whatever you can to gut it out to give this team some minutes and try to be a part of this down the stretch.
Yeah, no, just trying to be there for my teammates was the biggest thing. Being able to adjust my game, and I talk with coaches a lot about it, just trying to control what I control, rebounding, defense, and being a leader. So that was just the 3 things on my mind this year, and trying to do whatever I can to help this team win, and we're doing a good job winning so far.
I even see you kind of walking to the free throw line sometimes, kind of shaking it out a little bit. How you're making it look easy out there, but how hard is what you're doing right now to play?
No, it's been pretty tough. Dealing with a lot of walking around feeling like I got a bowling ball on my shoulder, my hands constantly falling asleep, the numbness and tingleness. It gets worse every game, but I'm just doing it for my teammates and trying to finish the season strong.
What would be the dream scenario for you here to finish this thing out?
A national championship.
This team, you've obviously been a part of one that won it all, but in terms of just making a run here in the conference tournament and win a game or 2 in the tournament, make history, with the way you guys are playing, do you think this is the kind of team that can do it?
No, it definitely is. We have a team chemistry, and we've definitely taken leaps. We've gotten better. This team isn't what we were in November, December, January. We're getting better every month, and we're continuing to get better as the season goes on and even through the tournament.
What's it meant to have your brother along for this ride with you this year?
No, it's been everything. That's what I wanted for my last year. Me being in college for so long, for 6 years, I missed so many of his high school games, middle school stuff, just being that time getting to spend with your brother as you're growing up. So being able to be with him for a full year before I continue my journey, whether NBA, G League, overseas, it meant a lot.
Your girlfriend obviously came out with you, and your brother. You're gonna have, what kind of family are we gonna have tomorrow? And you mentioned kind of it might hit you tomorrow. Are you an emotional guy? Are we gonna see a tear or 2 out there on the court? Or
I'm gonna try and hold him back. As long as I don't have a microphone and have to talk about my parents, I think I'm pretty good at hiding my emotions. But it will be emotional.
All right, I'll save you that. But your family has meant a lot to you over your basketball career, haven't they?
It has. They've made so many sacrifices. They haven't missed any home games since I've all 7 years. My mom and dad haven't missed a home game one, so they mean a lot to me.
And final thing, I guess, to get a win on senior night, to get closer to a Mountain West championship. I guess just how big is tomorrow's game for you? How eager are you for your final time suiting up here, in Extra Mile Arena?
No, I'm super excited to get championship. So for me, I've had a lot of close chances to cutting down nets. I lost state championship by 1. Missouri Southern, we lost conference tournament, conference championship multiple times, championship game. And then my whole time at KU, I redshirted in my first year. I didn't cut down any nets just for the fact that I want to be a bigger part when I cut down my first net. So being able to do that for this team will be big for me.
Appreciate Cam Martin for joining us. Crowd filing in. We are at 1,216 people watching. We're at 1 hour and 13 minutes and counting. I see Dr. Marlene Trump, the Boise State president, now walking in. Bob Berry was here. By the way, we got word from Matt Bauscher. Malachi Nelson, the Boise State transfer quarterback, will be sitting courtside next to, he already is. I see him up there. Malachi Nelson. Johnny, go get a photo of that. Matt Bauscher, his special guest tonight is Malachi Nelson. He is sitting courtside with Matt Bauscher tonight. So hopefully they'll put him on the screen or get the crowd fired up at some point, right? Don't you need to put Malachi Nelson on the screen and have him fire up the crowd? You would certainly think that needs to happen tonight. But Malachi Nelson in the house The student section is filling up. We've seen a lot of dignitaries here. There's Stan Nicolason from Taco Bell. I see Matt Boucher down there. We already saw Travis Hawks. It's a who's who tonight for senior night for Boise State basketball. And again, we got 1,222 of you. We've set a record tonight. I am very appreciative and thankful for all of you for checking us out. We really appreciate it. My wife said the comments were turned off, but for some reason I'm seeing them. So if you're getting a comment turned off thing, I apologize. Skyship wants to see Winter versus Blackshear. Now, those guys are not going to start tonight. Well, we're going to play a clip from Leon Rice here. I asked Leon Rice about senior night and what he's going to do if, trying to get those guys into the game. Let's find Leon first. This is Leon Rice on senior day and what's going to happen here in about 5 minutes.
Well, senior nights are complicated and they're a rough deal emotionally, but because we've got a job to do. If we're not scheduling a non-1 game to celebrate senior night. I mean, it'd be great if we did. This is a Mountain West game that has lots and lots of implications outside of the Mountain West and beyond. And so the focus is still accomplish the mission. And it's a neat deal for the fans to be able to honor and see these guys one last time and give them their appreciation. And I think if you kind of try to keep it in that box a little bit, we'll have moments outside. We got the senior banquet, things like that. And it's not our last game that we'll all ever play together. So you try not to let it, you try not to have those moments just yet.
Here come the Boise State Broncos taking the floor for senior night. The crowd on its feet, both teams on the floor. The final home game for Max Rice, Cam Martin, Sam Winter, Mo Silla, potentially Chibuzo Abo, but I think they expect him back next year. And again, I asked Leon Rice, because some schools like Kansas tonight, Kansas playing Kansas State in a big game, Bill Self still started all the walk-ons, all the 5 seniors started. Some schools start the seniors. Leon Rice typically doesn't do that. I asked Leon Rice about potentially starting the seniors and what's the plan, I guess, for a dream scenario, as I called it. Do you bring in Cade for Max at the end of the game? Do you get Sam and Mo in the game? He is not starting those guys. He's going with his normal 5 starting lineup, I believe. But what does Leon Rice plan to do at the end of the game to honor his seniors?
Like I said, it that's the hard thing about senior night is no. I mean, the mission is the mission, and if you start trying to think about too many things and it's not a movie and it's not theater. I mean, we're going to have our hands full. We're going to play a great game to be in this game tomorrow, and we did certainly play a great game Saturday, and it's going to take that kind of effort. And so to run those scenarios is too much for my tiny little brain.
So I think it has to happen, though, right? I think you have to have Cade Rice checking in for Max, the big hug at the end of the game if Boise State has the lead, or you have to have both those guys on the floor together. Something has to happen with the Rice family. So, again, 1,246 of you. So appreciative of you guys. If you're going to Vegas, please RSVP. Send me an email. We'd love to have you for the Bronco Nation News pool party. Rains@BroncoNationNews.com. Send me an email. We'll get you free entry into the pool party if you send me an email. It's next Friday, a week from Friday, for the conference tournament. If you want to go to the BNN golf tournament, if you played last year, we'll save you a spot if you email me. If you want to sponsor a hole, we'll also give you a hole. You can get a foursome reserved as well. Otherwise, save the date, and the general admission foursomes will go on sale in a couple of weeks. We got our final minute or two before we got to get off. You see the crowd filing in. Certainly not a sellout, but it's a pretty good crowd. If you're here at 9 o'clock, you're excited for this one. There goes Austin Dixon, former Boise State lineman, walking by. This truly is a who's who here tonight. Everybody that has ever been to a Boise State game, if you're a season ticket holder, if you're a big-time fan. You are here tonight. I see the Atkinson family over there. There's Chris Atkinson, Dakota, the whole crew. I've seen a lot of football players, other sports as well. They're going to have the senior festivities coming up here in about a minute. I got to jump off. We got to be off 15 minutes to before tip. But we got 1,247 of you. We went an hour and 20 minutes. We had KJ Mack, Robin Rice, Abe Jackson, Dan Dickow, 4 live interviews. A lot of fun tonight. Appreciate all you guys for checking us out. Come back on the post-game show. Go subscribe if you can. Help us out. $50, BNN 50 deal at BroncoNationNews.com. Again, we'd love to have you subscribe and help us. The NCAA tournament, the Vegas trip, they're not cheap. We could use your help. Bronco Nation News. .com. So they're looking for Chibuzo Abo's dad. He's supposed to report to Lobby 3. So they were just asking for him to get there. So the senior festivities are about to start. Again, we're going to air the post-game interviews live, so it's going to be a little bit of a different format for the post-game show, just so we're not starting the show at midnight. So come on back. We'll talk to you guys on the post-game show. Go subscribe if you can. Like this video in the corner of the screen on YouTube. Tell your friends. Big one for Boise State, trying to stay alive for first place in the Mountain West, improve their NCAA tournament seed. Hope you enjoyed what I would think was one of our best shows ever. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you afterwards. Bronco Nation News live, BroncoNationNews.com.